Hello and welcome to our course Learn the PRIIPs Regulation and the Key Information Document in 2026. I'm Evdokia, Global Chief Risk and Compliance Officer and Partner at SALVUS. Through my work in licensing, compliance and internal audit, I have helped numerous firms navigate the regulatory landscape, and I'm excited to guide you through this topic. In this course, we will take a practical and insightful journey into the PRIIPs framework and its requirements with everything you need to stay ahead in 2026. Now let's move on to see what this workshop includes. This workshop offers you on-demand video recordings, allowing you to learn at your own pace and on your own schedule. You'll also receive self-study materials available both online and in printable format, so you can review the content whenever and however you prefer. To support your progress, you'll encounter targeted test questions throughout the workshop. These are designed to help you pinpoint areas that may need further review and reinforce your understanding. Altogether, these resources create a flexible and effective learning experience to continue. It also provides essential knowledge on the PRIIPs framework and the latest updates from ESMA and CySEC. You'll also reinforce your learning with test questions to track your progress and build confidence. Here's what we'll dive into. Together, we'll kick things off with the Lamfalussy process and explore the roles of ESMA and the European Union Commission. From there, we'll break down the PRIIPs regulatory framework and highlight the latest updates you need to know. Next, we'll focus on the key information document, what's required, how it's prepared, and why it matters. You'll also gain insights from CySEC Circular C312 through a thematic review, followed by a hands-on example of KID preparation. To support your learning, the workshop includes test questions for self-assessment, and upon completion, you will receive a certificate for 5 hours of CPD. Hello and welcome to our session on the Lamfalussy process, the EU Commission and ESMA. We'll break down how EU financial regulation is structured, focusing on the 4 levels of the Lamfalussy process. Let's take a look at what we'll cover today. In this section, we'll walk through the Lamfalussy process step by step. We'll begin by introducing the concept itself, then move on to level 1, which focuses on framework acts. After that, we'll explore level 2, covering delegated and implementing acts. Next, we'll dive into level 3, where ESMA guidelines come into play, followed by level 4, which deals with how ESMA supervises member states. To wrap it up, we'll connect the entire process to the broader EU legal framework so you can clearly see how everything fits together. With that roadmap in mind, let's begin with the Lamfalussy process itself. If you've dealt with EU financial regulation, you've likely heard of levels 1 to 4. This is the Lamfalussy process, named after Alexander Lamfalussy. Introduced in 2002, it was designed to speed up and streamline financial legislation, and it was particularly notable in the creation of the Markets in Financial Instruments Directive, or MiFID. The process ensures complex regulations are implemented efficiently and consistently across the EU. Let's begin with level 1. Hello and welcome to our session on packaged retail and insurance-based investment products, also known as PRIIPs, where we will focus on their regulatory framework and updates. Let's begin by looking at the structure of today's session to see exactly what we will cover. In this session, we will cover several important areas. We'll start with PRIIPs definitions, then explore the scope of application and examine what it means to be a PRIIPs manufacturer. We will also discuss products that are exempt from the PRIIPs regulation, and finally, we will look at the competent authorities and the infringements they oversee. Now that we know what lies ahead, let's start by defining exactly what PRIIPs are. The Packaged Retail and Insurance-Based Investment Products Regulation requires that all insurance-based investment products must comply with uniform requirements when it comes to providing a key information document or KID to retail investors. This applies regardless of whether the underlying investment options of these PRIIPs are themselves considered PRIIPs. And importantly, this rule has been in effect since the 1st of January 2018 and aims to boost investor protection through greater transparency and consistency. Now that we've introduced PRIIPs, let's break down in more detail. Hello and welcome. In this session, we will explore the key information document, what it is, why it matters, and how to prepare and present it under the PRIIPs regulation. Let's begin by reviewing the topics ahead. In today's session, we will first discuss the key information document itself, then we will go through client assessment and the identification of the target market, and finally we will see how to construct a key information document step by step. So let's dive in and begin with understanding what a KID is and why it exists. The purpose of the key information document is to allow retail investors to make an informed investment decision for the product they are about to purchase. The KID aims to achieve greater investor protection, giving them clarity and confidence in the decision-making process. Manufacturers or persons who advise on or sell PRIIPs are required to provide the KID in good time and always before any transaction is concluded. Now let's see where this process begins with client assessment. Welcome. Today we will explore the thematic review of CySEC Circular C312. This review is focused on the regulatory requirements surrounding key information documents, often referred to as KIDs under the PRIIPs regulation. This session will guide you through the main points of the circular and how it applies to investment firms. Let's begin our journey into the details. Let me walk you through the contents for this session. We will start by looking at CySEC Circular C312 and its thematic review of key information documents. Then we will explore the KID format, language, and content in depth. This will help us understand not just what is required, but also how to implement these requirements effectively. Let's move on to the circular itself. On the 16th of May 2019, CySEC released its first thematic review on key information documents. It focuses on the review of 24 CIF. KIDs were published for all PRIIPs offered to retail investors and whether they met content and format standards. This highlighted CySEC's push for real, not just paper compliance. Let's now connect this to MiFID II and PRIIPs. Welcome to this session showing a practical example on how to prepare a key information document, a key tool for investor protection and compliance. We'll break it down step by step so you can confidently structure and prepare one yourself. Before we dive in, let's look at the key topics we'll cover in this example. Here's what a key information document includes: its purpose, product and distributor details, risks and returns, what happens if the firm can't pay, associated costs, holding period, early withdrawal, other relevant information, and how to file a complaint. These sections are essential and each serves a regulatory purpose. Let's now move into practical example. The first section of the KID outlines its purpose: to provide key facts about an investment product, not as marketing, but to help investors understand the product, its risks, returns, and compare it with others. It must also clearly identify the distributor. In this example, it's a CySEC-regulated firm offering a CFD on an FX pair, with contact details and the document's creation date included. Now let's look at the product details.